Hello, my name is Brian, and I'm kind of dumb. And this is the 2024 wrap video. And yeah, it's like we're finally here. 2024 is finally over, and I finally get to spend the time to reflect on it. So that's what this video is going to be all about. And yeah, let's get straight into it. All right, so in 2024, I've completed a couple of goals of mine that I wanted to complete. Like I set a bunch of goals that I want to complete within the year, and I try to complete as much of them as possible. And just if I can complete all of them, that would be great. But that's super highly unlikely, right? Because of, you know, time constraints and actual like things that happen in life. You know what I mean? So how I basically get myself to like complete all these goals is what I've been doing is I've been setting deadlines at specific dates, and that gives me a better idea and a better way to, you know, complete these goals throughout that year. Cause like, okay, a lot of people like set goals within their like New Year's resolution thing, but they never set a deadline for it. So they just forget about it, and then they never complete that goal. You know what I mean? So what I do is I set deadlines, and then I have reminders on my phone that tell me like, hey, I need this done. This needs to get completed, and so forth. So some of the goals that I didn't get to this year is I cannot formally bench 225 on a barbell. And that's mostly because of the fact that I've shifted my entire focus from more of a powerlifting aspect to more of a bodybuilding aspect. I'm looking more for aesthetics rather than, you know, like pure strength right now. And then another one is the RC plane assembly. I haven't fully finished building it yet, mostly because of the fact that every time I do work on this thing, something changes or something breaks or something, you know, gets in the way. You know, I mean, there's always a problem with it. Yeah. And I feel that a lot of the thing is, I didn't have a lot of time in 2024 to focus on my hobbies. I was focusing primarily on my relationship at that point. And that was my like goal right now, strengthening that relationship. And yeah. And then obviously the third one I didn't get to was, the airplane flight test. Obviously I can't test it because it's not put together fully yet. Now let's switch to the goals that I've completed. So the first thing on the list is first YouTube video. I completed that with the rocket motor video that you guys saw, the black powder propellant, stuff like that. I'm really looking forward to 2025 and improving that, making a test stand, you know, trying out different types of propellants and stuff like that. That's going to be really exciting. And I have a super sick plan for what I'm going to use that motor in a later video. So stay tuned for that. And yeah. Another one of the things that I did this year was I started doing photography on Instagram. It's not super consistent yet, but, you know, whenever I have the time and, you know, whenever I have like, oh, I'm at this place. You know what I mean? I go take my camera with me and do some photography, some videography there. You know what I mean? I did a lot of drone shots this year. Unfortunately, I lost that drone, but I am going to go find it hopefully in January. I lost it at a flight test event, which is kind of upsetting, but yeah. Another thing that I'm kind of proud of is, well, not really super proud of because I could have gotten more, but I wanted to have a minimum of 100 journal entries this year. I have been slacking on the journal entries entirely ever since I started until now. I should have over 600 journal entries. I barely have like 110, and I want to be more consistent with journaling because it allows me and enables me to, think about my thoughts, remove my bad habits because I'm going to be talking about them and constantly be thinking about reflection and stuff like that. And that is very important to me because it allows me to grow and learn at a faster rate. Another thing that I wasn't expecting to get into this year was embracing Christianity. More so embracing like the belief with Jesus Christ. I feel that Christianity has its flaws because of the fact that it is, it was the reason why the Crusades happened, the Salem witch trials, and etc. Like there's a lot of things that are like inherently bad about Christianity because it enabled a bunch of like terrible things and mass genocide in the past. So I believe more about Jesus Christ because he is a person, he's a real world example of the embodiment of God. You know what I mean? So yeah. Another thing that I did this year was I built an FPV drone. That thing was super sick when I had it. It was so fun to fly around. I flew it around like religiously for a couple of like weeks at a time. You know what I mean? It was so fun. I am in the simulator like most of the time right now because it's like kind of rainy outside, but it's so fun to fly FPV drone. Oh my God. If you want to get into hobby, get into FPV. It's so fun. I totally recommend it. Another thing that I'm really proud of is at work. They invited me on to a bunch of flight tests, and I'm super happy that I have all the qualities and traits to get on to flight test. I do want to pursue that more often in my career. That is something I'm more interested rather than 3D printing. Like, yeah, I like 3D printing. I think it's like cool and fun and stuff like that. But when you're in the work environment, you're like constantly 3D printing. It kind of gets a little bit boring. I want like more of an adaptive and an evolution type of work environment. That is like simply something I value more than just doing the same repetitive task over and over and over again. Another thing that I'm proud of is on my birthday, I try to run the amount of miles as my as my age, you know what I mean? So I just turned 20 and I turned 20 in 2024. So I ran 20 miles on my birthday. Super great. I think I completed it a lot faster than my first 19 miles on my 19th birthday. I think when I did 19 miles, I was running for 6 hours total. And when I did 20 miles, I did 4.5 hours time. That is crazy significance. I was running literally way faster and way better, and my legs just felt way better at the end of it. Like, yeah, they were like super sore and I was going through hell, but like at the same time, like they just felt stronger during that run. It was a lot better. Another thing I did this year was I got my Part 107 license, so now I can officially fly drones for compensation. I have been doing that primarily for work, but I mean, if I want to run ads for people or like fly and chase, do like photography for specific people, then that's like in the books now. I can actually do that for compensation, and I might be interested in the future, but I'm not entirely sure yet. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. Maybe not, maybe I will, it's more of like a hobby type scenario. I'm more interested in like, building things and flying it rather than like flying for other people for photography right now. And then I designed another airplane design. It's not printed yet. I haven't fully like took it out of the design software. I'm currently working on the electronics for that plane. It's going to be a high performance long range drone. That's what it was. It's a high performance long range drone. It's super sick. It's very big. This is like way bigger than the RC plane design, and it's more futuristic looking, and it's a pusher based system. So it's going to be kind of interesting. I can't wait to get this. It's going to be fully autonomous, and there'll be a video of that maybe next year. I'm not entirely sure. I need to finish the CAD for it though. The last thing on this list was learn SolidWorks. I I wouldn't say that I officially learned SolidWorks yet, but I just marked it because I know how to design and make parts now, which is great. Like that is like super sick. And I can like utilize it enough to get where I need to go. You know what I mean? It's not like I can't make anything. I can make like some things, but I can't make like a straight up airframe yet. I'm not there yet, but yeah. Okay, so we're going to move on to what I struggled with. So some of the things I struggled with in 2024 was balancing my relationship with my personal goals and things that I wanted to accomplish in this year. It was very difficult for me because I wanted to like meet specific deadlines that I had for myself, and I found that I wasn't meeting those deadlines, or I wasn't meeting them to the expectation that I wanted because I was prioritizing my relationship. And I don't regret prioritizing my relationship. I find that like it was a very like important part of me growing this year, getting more, I guess, emotionally available for the partner that I have. And I feel that's a very important part of being in a relationship, that you actually want to put effort in. You want to actually be the best version for that person. Another thing that I struggled with this year was social media consumption. I watched a lot of social media because I had this thing where like what I would do is, instead of working on my projects, so like basically I would like, go to work, hit the gym, and then come home, and I would only have like, an hour or like maybe like 30 minutes time left. So instead of like working on my projects for that hour or 30 minutes, I would just like watch YouTube, go on Instagram, scroll on Instagram for a couple of minutes, look at like, and the thing is like, I thought that I was being productive because of the fact that I was like looking at like self-improvement shit, but I was just being a self-improvement autist. I wasn't like applying any of the crap that like they were teaching me, because like one, I already knew it, and I was just like, oh, I like that, I like what they said, or I like how they reiterated that, or I like this about that, you know what I mean? Like it just didn't really matter for me watching that because I already knew it, but I liked the way that they were wording it, you know what I mean? Because I've gone through life with like struggling on my own and actually like finding more of myself on my own. It's like I had those emotions, but like I just didn't care, like they didn't mean as much to me, you know what I mean? Because like I could feel sad, but it's gonna change the fact that like I still need to go to work the next day, or like I can feel upset or mad, but isn't gonna change anything. I still have to do the things that I need to do in order to like get to the place that I want to be. Like I can't like let that bottle me down because of the fact that like I'm feeling a specific feeling, and it was very hard for me to express that, because like if I did, then I would like kind of like break myself down a little bit and be like, oh, I'm feeling this emotion, or oh, I'm feeling this, you know what I mean? But like at the same time, like I don't really care about those like minuscule feelings, but in order for me to get closer with my partner, I had to show that emotional availability, because it would make them feel safe to share their like emotional struggles or insecurities. You know what I mean? And so it was like a more of a way to enable the relationship to grow on itself, rather than making it so it was very like one-sided. And I wanted to make sure like it was like balanced enough, like very like balanced and not like unbalanced, you know? So I'd like to talk about the relationship takeaways that I had this year. And this portion wouldn't actually have been in the video if the relationship didn't end. So now that it has ended, I will now reflect on it and put this in the video, you know what I mean? Anyways, so the first topic that I want to talk about is what I learned in the relationship. And I feel that I learned quite a bit about, like, I learned a lot of important things. And those important things, for the first one at least, is I'm a lot more humble now. I used to always be like this super egotistical person. Back in the day, I used to always think I had like this superiority complex. I had to be better than everyone. I had to put people beneath me. You know what I mean? And what's it called? I I was only improving to be better than the people that I didn't really care for anyway. So like why, or they didn't care. I didn't care for them and they didn't care for me. So like, what was the point of me like even like working to better myself if they didn't really give a shit anyways? Another thing is I'm a more unconditionally kind. I just want to be kind to people even when it isn't even necessary to be kind to. And that's what I learned about this relationship. You can still be kind to someone if they're like insulting you, if they're being mean to you, you know what I mean? You don't have to resort to aggression or like reciprocating that aggression back to them, you know what I mean? You can always just be like, hey, let's work this out, you know what I mean? We don't have to argue about this. We don't have to get all heated. Let's just make our relationship stronger by strengthening it, right? And that's something that I learned a lot about. Another thing is, I think I strengthened my communication skills a little bit better with this person. I used to just hide away my feelings and stuff like that, but this time I actually genuinely wanted to talk about my feelings. And I know like there were at times where like I prioritized their well-being over mine, and that's where like the communication kind of like lacked. But at the same time, like I really wanted to work through our problems together. I really wanted to communicate our problems together and really just like build and strengthen our relationship and really communicate them out. Because like I feel like if the leading cause of like failed relationships is just a lack of communication from either party. Both parties need to communicate, not just one party. Both of them have to communicate. It's like a two-way street, you know what I mean? And so yeah, those are the things I learned in this relationship. So let's move on to how I felt about this relationship. In the relationship, I felt that like I said before, like I would prioritize their emotional well-being, their emotional stability over mine. And that made me feel like I wasn't significant enough to them. You know what I mean? I didn't really mean that much because I wasn't getting that same effort back to me. You know, I was giving that effort to them, but they weren't giving that effort back to me. And I was just like, how come? Don't they love me, right? Don't they appreciate me? You know what I mean? Like what? How hard is that of an ask to like reciprocate that same amount of effort and attention and support for me? You know what I mean? Because that's what I would want. You know what I mean? I'm giving you that same amount and I would just want that back. You know what I mean? It's like they're just taking rather than giving in return. And that made me feel like really uncomfortable at times. Like I was just like, I just felt like, you know, like, and then like this like weird part of my brain was like, oh, they'll do it one day or eventually they'll do it. You know what I mean? Maybe they're just not in the emotional space to do it. You know what I mean? They'll do it next time. You know what I mean? And I just kept being delusional about that. I was just like, oh, next time. But that next time never came. And so it just made me feel like I wasn't really that significant to them and I didn't really matter to them that much. Yeah. And so that's the negative side. The positive side is I thought this relationship was really good. It was by far the most healthiest relationship I've been in. And you just from the thing you heard, you're probably like, oh my God, this guy's been in like pretty ass relationships. If that was like one of the things he's just talking about and then still saying that this is a good relationship. But yeah, no, this relationship was probably like, it's probably going to be the most memorable because I actually really enjoyed it. I spent a lot of time with them. You know what I mean? We had some really fond memories. It was very fun. And I really enjoyed the time that we had together. Like I really enjoy being with the person I love, right? And spending time with them. And like, yeah, I didn't really focus on my projects and my hobbies and stuff like that, but still like in a way that this was one of my hobbies, you know what I mean? And it was fun. It was a fun hobby. It was really nice to get to know someone that I wanted to get to know because I loved them. And it was really fun to like grow as a person while I was with them. It was cool. I feel like I'm still a lot better of a person before, like I'm a lot better now than before this relationship. But yeah. And that already leads me straight into the next topic of how it shaped me to become a better person. And basically, like I said before, and the things I learned is it made me more humble. It made me more kind. It made me get better at my communication, and it made me like be grateful about like my life. You know what I mean? I used to like take things for granted. I was just like, like I used to take a lot of things for granted, and like I never really appreciated life for what it was. And the things I would take for granted are the things that sucked in life, or the things that were good in life. Both things. I took both things for granted. But like, think about life is like, there's always gonna have to be a balance in life. Every good thing has to have a bad thing. You know what I mean? There's always a good and there's always a bad, regardless of wherever you are, what relationship you're in, your job, etc. Like there's always going to be a good and a bad regardless of what it is. So, yeah. And the last topic is thoughts after it ended. I've had a lot of thoughts lately. You know, I've been really brainstorming and like really digging into it, and there's a lot of things I talked about, and I think the only thing that really comes to my mind for the most part is like, so they sent me some interesting text because like I'm literally like terrible when it comes to breakups. I get in like this like depressed mood. I'm like, oh, why didn't you want me, or what is this? And the main thing that like really stuck out was like, they said that they were afraid of getting hurt, right? And they didn't really, and that was their excuse of not putting in the effort, right? And I feel that like that is the most like contradicting claim ever, because you're afraid of getting hurt and you didn't put the effort in, you hurt me in the process and you hurt yourself regardless, you know what I mean? Even though if it was like a shallow hurtness that you received to yourself, you still were heartless enough to hurt me in the process. Like you couldn't just say, I can't do this relationship right now. Or like you could have just said like before the relationship started, it's like, I'm not ready. I'm not in the mindset of having a relationship with someone right now or with you right now. I can't do a relationship today. I'm not ready for one, right? And that would have been totally safe. That would have been totally fine. But you decided to get in a relationship with me, you know what I mean? Even though you were afraid of getting hurt again. And that makes me wonder, like, am I significant enough to their life to really like have deserved the effort from them? You know what I mean? Like how come the effort from them didn't just come easy? Was there something wrong with me? You know what I mean? That's what I started thinking about. I was just like thinking about it in like the most negative way. I was like, there has to be something wrong with me if they couldn't like find a reason to like put effort in, you know what I mean? And the reason was like, there wasn't any reason. They just, you know, like, to put it simple, if you cannot put the effort for your other person that you love or that you say you love, you don't love them enough. And that is just the fact. You can say, and if their love language is like you have to like show them you love them, and you know they made it kind of clear that you know that is their love language, right? And you're not doing it, but you say you love them, like you're not loving them. You can say all you want that you can say I love you all day, all night, whatever it is, right? But you actively not putting in the effort for that person who needs you to show you love them is literally saying I don't love you. Like if you always have to like think about a second guess, like are you genuinely in love with that person, or are you just deceiving yourself to think you're in love with that person? You know what I mean? Like it made me think about things like a lot like that, and it was just very like, I don't know, like hurtful in a way. Like I was just like, I just felt like like they say that they appreciated me at the end of the relationship, but like it, like the actions weren't there. You know what I mean? You didn't act like you appreciated me. You know what I mean? You can say you appreciated me, but it didn't feel like you did. You know what I mean? You know, you can say that you love me, but it didn't feel like you did. You know what I mean? Like there's just no feeling that like their words weren't backed by anything. You know what I mean? And a lot of things that they said, there wasn't any competence behind them. I asked them if they wanted to continue the relationship. I literally legit did. This is why we broke up. I literally was like, do you want me? They couldn't straight up like give me a direct answer. They just we're two different people, you know what I mean? Oh, we have different hobbies, or oh, we're too different, you know what I mean? They couldn't just say no or yes. They just was like, they had like these they had like an excuse for every like answer. They were like confused if they wanted me or not. And I don't want to be with someone who's confused about wanting me. Like, I want to be with someone who doesn't have to second guess anything. And if I ask them a question of, do you want me? They're just like, yes, instantly. No, I want someone to be like, yes, I want to be with you. Done. Or no, I don't want to be with you. Done. I don't want this like, yeah, or maybe, or we're two different people. Like, no, I want a legit answer. And I'm so tired of like this like in-between answer. I don't want someone to be confused if they want me or not. I want them to straight up be able to be like, I want you. Done. Next topic. I want to talk about the last video that I made. A similar video, the 2023 wrap. And what my thoughts are on it now. Thoughts are pretty much the same, to be honest. And it's kind of funny because in that video I said that I felt like I didn't really do that much that year. The funniest part, now I feel like I did so much more in 2023 than I did in 2024. Because in 2023, I was focused on what I needed to do and what I needed to become, right? In 2024, you know, I was like slowed down a little bit. I had a relationship, you know, I prioritized a relationship. I prioritized that more than myself. And that took a toll. I mean, you know, the relationship ended. Fuck. But here's the thing, I learned a lot about that relationship, and yeah, it was still good in the end. I just was like, and I still appreciate that person for okay. Also, just because of what I said in the past does not mean like I hate them or anything. I love them. I still love them to this day. And I hope the best for them. You know what I mean? Like, even though they weren't for me or they couldn't put the effort in for me, I still love them and I still want the best for them, and I still want them to become the best possible version of themselves. You know what I mean? I have no bitter feelings for them. You know what I mean? I just hope that they are doing okay. Right. And so like, but yeah, we're talking about 2023 video. 2023 video. It's funny because I feel like I could have done more this year, but I didn't, and I slacked off a lot because the one thing that I did a lot this year was because I had a relationship, right? And I'm blaming it on the relationship, whatever, right? I would like watch YouTube because I would be waiting for them to be like respond if they wanted to hang out, right? And so I'd watch YouTube, you know, be like, oh, this, or like my schedule changed at work, right? And I'd be like, oh, I don't have time to like, you know, record a video for YouTube, or I'll work on a 3D model, or do my SolidWorks course, or like, or read, you know what I mean? I would just make excuses on why I couldn't do something, but I would watch YouTube instead. Like, I could have easily read a chapter during that time, but I didn't. I just watched YouTube instead. And I was like, and I'm thinking about that now, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I could have read like 4 books this year. I've read 2 books this year. 2 fucking books. Well, no, I actually finished Never Finished by David Goggins in December. I literally read that in 2 weeks. It was great. It was probably the best book I've written. Every book that David Goggins has made is such a amazing book, and I recommend them. I honestly, like, honest to God, like, they're the best books that I've ever read, ever. Best self-improvement and self-development books I've ever read. That being said, like, yeah, 2023 way more productive compared to 2024. Now, let's move to goals of 2024. No. Goals of 2025. Alrighty. The moment you've been waiting for. The new goals of 2025. This 2025, I'm going to grind my fucking ass off. All right. And that is a fucking, like, That's a vow. I will fucking grind till I fucking die. I would rather die than give up on grinding this year. That being said, let's go to goals. All right. So the goals of 2025 are, first one is I want to get at a body weight of 160. Right now, I'm currently up and down between 145 and 150 right now, and I'm trying to like bulk up. You know, I mean, I'm back in the bulk. I'm back on getting stronger, back on getting that physique, like bigger and plumper. You know, what I mean, I'm gonna get up to 160. So that's like one of the first ones. Second one, RC plane assembly. The RC plane is not fucking done yet. I didn't finish it in 2024. That pisses me off. This is where the plane's at. Okay, we got motors now. We got electronics in there. We got elevons. We got this. This all works. There's servos in there. Everything gets actuated. I actually broke the servo for this flap, so this is all fucked up right now. And I have to, you see this like black marker spot? I gotta fucking Dremel that shit out and put a new horn in outside of the plane because I plug. Anyways, that is a plug project. It's a whole process. It's a pain in my plug. Sorry for the language. Focus. All right. Yeah. It's a huge plug. And then obviously the next one after that is RC plane flight. Done. Another thing this year is I'm looking for a promotion. So at work, they offered, well, we're now talking about my next promotion and job title at work, and that would be an engineering associate. I am super excited for that because then I'll be doing more flight testing instead of 3D printing. Like, I would get out of the manufacturing space, and that is super exciting for me because, like, okay, I've been in the manufacturing space for like a year now, and it was fun at the beginning, but now I'm kind of bored of it. You know, I want more. I want to do more. You know what I mean? I want to be more in design. I want to be more on the flight test. I want to be more on like of this evolution rather than a repetitive basis of what my job is right now. You know what I mean? I want like more creativity. You know what I mean? I want more like thinking than like, oh, I need to print this, or oh, this needs to print at this time, or oh, this, or that. You know what I mean? It's like, no, it's too repetitive, too easy. You know what I mean? So yeah. Next project is HPLRD. I did mention this maybe, I think, in this video. I'm not entirely sure anymore. I don't remember. All the videos have been spaced out in different days now. That's okay. You guys are wondering why I'm wearing a different shirt and why the camera is positioned differently. It's because I recorded these on different days. So back to the goals. HPLRD means high performance long distance drone. We're going to make a UAV that's fully autonomous. That is what's happening this year, and hopefully I make a video on it. Hopefully I make a video on the design process of the plane pretty soon, because I did finalize that design, kind of, at least a version 1 of it, but I should make a video on me designing. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. But yeah, and then in green, basically in green, when I have it on my goals, is like, I don't, like, it's not required for this year, but I should put it there, and I should still strive to do it, would be the flight test for HPLRD. Right, this is gonna be fully autonomous, by the way, and it's gonna be super sick. I'm super excited for this project. Next one is rocket motor stand. So in the last video, you guys saw the rocket motor test. That was fucking scary. Okay, terrifying. We're gonna build a stand for that. We're gonna make it have a load cell. We're gonna have it encased in cinder blocks and shit. We're going to have exhaust vent holes so it doesn't overpressurize the test stand and blow it up and send a cinder block into the air. This is going to be sick. It's going to be over-engineered as fuck, and it's also going to be super cool. And I'm going to record me building it because I need to start doing that more. Seriously. What the plug? Anyways, next one is rocket motor V2. You guys noticed in that video, it blew up. It was crazy. There's flames on both ends of that motor. We're going to stop that from happening. I'm going to prevent that from happening in the next motor build. So yeah, it's going to be super sick. I haven't finalized on what I want to do with that yet, but I'm working on it. Bear with me. It consists of a lot more PVC attachments. So yeah. The shed build. So me and my dad are rebuilding our shed because my dad likes to build things in a hobo fashion. He just grabs a random piece of wood and screws it on. I don't like that. I got tired of his hobo things, and I got tired of banging my head on his old shed. So I might do a little bit of a documentary on that, a little bit of recording on that, and talking about like what I learned and stuff I thought about during that time. You know what I mean? Like getting like maybe like talk about like philosophical things in those videos. Like it'd just be like a time lapse of me just like working, and then I'd just be like, oh, during this time I thought about this and this and this and this. You know what I mean? But yeah, that has a lot of like creativity that I still haven't thought about just yet. Another thing is 200 journal entries. I should have at least 600 journal entries at this point since it's been 2 years, but I don't because I forget to journal all the time, and I need to start journaling because that would be an easy way for me to reflect and look back on things I used to do, or look back on the things I used to think about. You know what I mean? Like I need to journal more. And that is a staple of self-improvement because it allows you to think back on your day and what you did that day and if you were productive or not. If you have nothing to journal about or didn't put a lot, you didn't do enough. You know what I mean? That's my thought process. So 200 journal entries minimum at the end of 2025. That is the goal. In green, there's 300. I should have 300, and that should be easy. That should be a green bean. Easy peasy lemon squeezy secondary goal. That being said, we're going to try to do 4 YouTube video this year. 4. Total of 4 YouTube videos. I think one of them is going to be Rocket Motor Test Stand. One is definitely going to be HPLRD. One definitely going to be RC Plane. And maybe shed build. Yeah, let's do that. Shed build. Yeah. Or maybe something different. I don't know. Minimum of 4 YouTube videos. And that is going to happen in 2025. Mandatory. If not, I kill myself. No, I'm just joking. I don't do that. If not, I reflect and be like, I could have worked harder. You know what I mean? This is like, I'm getting to the point where like, I'm not putting in the effort in this channel. You know what I mean? I want to start making YouTube videos about random. Because like, why the fuck not? You know what I mean? Why not? I have a camera ready, so why not just make videos? You know what I mean? And the last one is make music. I got FL Studio and I want to make music. Yeah. So, I'll be playing around with that. That's going to be more low-key, more hobby-ish, you know, on my free time. I don't really expect much from that yet, but we'll see if I make anything that I'm proud of. And if I do, then I might post it somewhere. But I won't post it under my name because I have a plan for that. And if you're an OG and you watch this and I'm popular in music, you'll know. You will know. That being said, that concludes the 2024 wrap. And I'm excited for 2025. This is going to be super sick to look back on at the end of 2025. And I'm excited on this year. I really hope that this year is going to be a good fucking year. We're going to grind so hard. We're going to get rid of all of our bad habits, and we're going to literally push ourselves harder than I've ever done in 2023 and 2024 combined. This is going to be the exponential growth that all the self-improvement gurus talk about. It's happening this year, and I'm going to fucking push myself to make that happen. That being said, I'm Brian, and I'm kind of dumb, but